Thank you so much. I want to welcome all of us to our EdTech Lounge session. This is the 6th EdTech Lounge this year in our series. And we are glad to have faculty from Uganda. That is Carol together with us is already ready to take up the session. The EdTech Lounge is a virtual community of practice for our AKU faculty members and to collaboratively be able to discuss their teaching and learning experiences with technology. And in particular, we are considering this time when we are having the pandemic together with us here. The format is it's simple. 15 minutes. We will have our expert speaking to us, who is Carol today. And then now after that, we will now have a session for question and answer. Then after that, we will be able to do the summary of the whole session. I want to officially welcome Namukwaya Caroline, who is a senior faculty and an academic coordinator for the post-RN BSN program, and then the RM BSM program and the diploma program. Carol has been in AKU for some time, and we are glad to hear from her experiences, especially in terms of how she has continued with the online teaching. So allow me to take this opportunity to welcome Carol. Carol, the stage is now yours. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Edward. I greet you all members who have joined today, and I'm going to share with you my presentation. So okay. So I'm going to discuss about coordinating online teaching and learning during the COVID-19 pandemic. What were the successes and what were the challenges that we faced in my office as an academic coordinator? The COVID-19 pandemic. On the 11th of March 2020, the WHO 2020 declared COVID-19 a pandemic, and everyone was advised to avoid close contact with anyone showing symptoms. And in Uganda, on the 20th of March, we were under total lockdown. So that meant that we are not expected to leave our homes to go and teach face-to-face. There was then need to go to start teaching online. As for Uganda, we had just gone halfway the semester, that was March. So we just continued to teach online and completed the theory teaching. In that process and in the months to come, we had some successes. And what are these successes? The successes were in the transition from face-to-face to online teaching. We were able to acquire the requirements by National Council for Higher Education for Uganda and Registrars Working Group for Aga Khan University. So what were these requirements? National Council for Higher Education evidence required us to have evidence of readiness to teach online, for example, presence of an active virtual learning environment. We are proud to say that as for Uganda, we already had a virtual learning environment, trained faculty, and inclusion of the required changes in the courses to be taught for a period of 1 year. And then the Registrars Working Group required us to fill in checklists indicating how the changes in the teaching and assessment strategies will be incorporated into our teaching, which was supposed now to be online. So we are proud to say that all that was well achieved. Still under transition, we looked at these factors. that were related to faculty that could influence learning outcomes. For example, attitudes towards technology, teaching style, and control over the technology. Those are very important factors that were supposed to be addressed. And then we also realized that this online teaching involved rethinking teaching by redesigning teaching strategies. Just a moment, I think I need to. Okay. Someone was helping me reduce on the light. That online teaching required us to rethink and redesign our teaching strategies, assessments, and learning experiences. All that we are proud that we did, and faculty were ready to start the teaching using the new teaching strategies. So that was achieved through training of faculty, both full-time and part-time faculty, in teaching in a virtual environment and online assessment. Many, many thanks to the BDL team. We are very grateful for all that you did. I remember we used to ask so many questions. We used to come to your offices. We used to come into your inbox, and you really were not hesitant to provide all that help. We had several trainings with different groups of faculty. So what is it that was so much required? Remember I said that technology, content, and whatever were important. Looking at this, when you look at this, this is the technological, pedagogical content knowledge. I think it is very useful for everybody who is coordinating online teaching and learning, because it will show you the expertise or experiences and requirements for your faculty. You very well know that all our faculty are content knowledgeable, because the interviews that we do, the mentoring that we do, all those activities that are done are aiming at making sure that our faculty are the best to teach our students. So this is something that was already there that need to be incorporated into. We had pedagogical knowledge, but the pedagogical knowledge that we had was for face-to-face teaching. Now faculty had to change to online teaching. If they are to change to online teaching, we had to look into the new pedagogical approaches that are supposed to be used. So for online teaching, technology is a must. You cannot teach online without technology. So we had to make sure that all faculty have technical know-how of using the computer and using the online gadgets that are supposed to be used. So which means that in the center here is where we wanted our faculty to be. There was a lot that was supposed to be done for our faculty, for all of them to be in the center here. At one time, you'd find that our faculty had a lot of content. They used the pedagogy, but then technology had an issue. Then we had to go back to coach faculty such that all faculty have technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. That is the TPAC model that was developed by Mishler and Koehler 2006. It really helped me to monitor and implement online teaching. Okay, we did not only look at faculty, we had to look at students. Students, what do they need? They need these 4 pillars for supporting them. They need academic support. Faculty have been providing academic support. How are students performing? They come in and help them to improve in their performance. But now we had to add technological support. So faculty were now and then helping these students, in addition to IT department coming in to help students in how to handle technology. We had refresher orientation trainings for all students. Then there is sense of community. This is very, very crucial for students. In one part, when it is under the virtual learning environment, it is very important for faculty to develop a social discussion forum where students can go and interact with each other, especially when they are stressed, but even if they are not stressed, that was created. And then, if that is not easy, then we also, the main that we did was to create WhatsApp groups for each batch. So we created WhatsApp groups and we had faculty join those WhatsApp groups such that students felt that they were still together instead of feeling that they are isolated from one another, because they would communicate daily, like when they would come to class and communicate. It is very important for one to always think about health and well-being. Checking on the students and a sense of community is not only enough. If a student is not healthy, especially psychological health, students went into stress. So there was need to attach them to a counselor. And then I would thank the registrar's office. There were online counseling sessions that were really very helpful for these students, such that the support was all round, not only about academics, not only about technology, but also about a sense of well-being, health and well-being, and sense of community. What were other successes? I'm proud to say that for the first time, we taught health assessment to the diploma class, fully online with lab demonstrations. I applaud the faculty that were so innovative to be able to teach this course. And the performance was not so different from the performance of face-to-face. Thank you very much, faculty that taught this course. Another success was like faculty and students were open to the new learning. Everybody was really eager to learn new things. And then we also coordinated provision of technical and information support to both faculty and students by the IT and BDL department. What are other successes? Being present. That was like a must for all faculty. So faculty regularly logged into their courses via the virtual learning environment, and they consistently remained visible and available by staying in touch with students. And another success was we worked with the registrar's office and all faculty to plan, organize, and implement online interviews for the incoming students. That is the 2022 batches. And we are very proud that that was effectively done. What were our challenges? As I said, we're supposed to get approvals by the RWG committee and then the National Council for Higher Education. So getting approvals from two different bodies caused a little bit of delay for us to start official online teaching and learning. And then after getting the approval, National Council for Higher Education sent a message that the graduating classes should study face-to-face and the continuing students should study online. That was a big challenge for me. I had now to coordinate face-to-face lessons and online teaching. It was not so easy because you had to know that these ones have come to class, the faculty are there, then these ones who are teaching online are also online teaching, and there are no difficulties. Then because most of the faculty were facing it for the first time, especially the virtual learning, virtual teaching, there was stress, both for students and faculty. Personally, I had stress because I had to respond to challenges from students. I would receive, I don't know how many WhatsApp messages, I don't know how many phone calls I would receive in a day, I don't know how many emails I would receive in a day. For students with technology problems, I would refer them to ICT department. Connectivity issues, sometimes with connectivity issues, I had nothing to do for them, but I had to go back to faculty to inform them that they devise other ways of teaching students instead of using only Zoom. So that's when we went to forum discussions, opening up forum discussions, recording of our teachings such that we share them with students, such that we reduce on the issue of connectivity. Then some would call and complain about lack of data and some access to ICT equipment. There were students who would use phones, and these students would have challenges working with the team. For example, students who are using forms would not annotate easily. So they would delay the class because they would keep on checking to see whether they can annotate, and then they would get on and off. So if they could not access the laptop, that was still a challenge. And they would call and say, for us, we missed on this because we do not have laptops. The biggest challenge I had as an academic coordinator was lack of tools to guide or to use for monitoring teaching and learning for both students and faculty. So, as I talk now, all schools have been closed in Uganda. There is no more face-to-face teaching. At Aga Khan University, we are planning to restart online teaching and learning. And I hope by next week we shall be ready, because these schools, the president closed last Sunday. We closed last Sunday. So what I've done, because I knew this was one of my major challenges, monitoring teaching from faculty and monitoring learning from students, I've developed some rubrics to help me monitor. So I have a rubric that is going to check virtual learning environment for each course. This one, how I'm planning to do it, I'm going to link up faculty, for example, faculty sitting together or not sitting together, faculty who have ideas about the courses that are being taught by another faculty, such that each one will be a team teacher to the other faculty. And the other team teacher will be able to assess and see whether this faculty needs some help. Just a moment. Whether this faculty needs some help. I can briefly take you to this rubric. The criteria that I've developed, I'm looking at the reading materials, whether they are all available and uploaded. Some of them can list, but they're not uploaded. So when the IT people go to this virtual learning environment and look at the leadership and management course, are they able to find this? If this other faculty goes to this particular person's course, is this person able to find this available? I'm not going to give points for these people, but I've said that this person will be taken as, this one is excellent, this one is good. In good, I thought there is some requirement for some help. For example, some materials would be uploaded, but then some are not yet uploaded. But a faculty who has just listed but has not uploaded, this faculty will require help. So we shall attach this faculty to a mentor, either IT personnel or a colleague who is experienced, to help this faculty upload all the materials. I'm also going to look at student enrollment. I'm also going to look at faculty and student interaction. This is very important in online learning, especially on the virtual learning environment. Sometimes we open up forums and as faculty we disappear. I want to find out, is faculty always interacting with these students? Is faculty sending announcements? Is faculty working with the students? Then we were at level 2 as a university as regards the virtual learning environment, our module site. and all faculty know how to develop forum discussion activities. So when National Council for Higher Education visited the campus, they said that they would prefer forum discussions because that is more engaging for students than faculty going in and Zooming and talking to students. They said that forum discussion groups created would encourage students to visit the site at any time they can, especially in view of connectivity issues, where a student who missed a discussion during the Zoom lecture can now easily access what is discussed in the forum. So assignment submission, have they been able to develop a Turnitin assignment? Because right now we cannot receive hard copies. So how is the faculty going to receive these assignments? Those are some of the criteria that I thought we can look at when a faculty goes into looking at the virtual learning environment for the course that is being taught. Sorry. And then our faculty still are going to use the Zoom teaching. You cannot do away with it. But how do we approach this Zoom teaching? How do we teach students? I've decided, I know doing this looks like I'm policing people, but this is not policing. This is making sure that we are improving on the quality of teaching. This is a new thing that is coming on that may be, as I said, stressful, and that may be hard for some people to grasp. So we want to make sure that we are all at the same level, and then provide mentoring and coaching and other support for all these people who may lag behind and who may need it. So that is the reason why I'm creating this. And it will help me save on my time that I wasted when I was doing it alone. So here the criteria still, I looked at faculty and student interaction because it is very important. I also looked at instruction. I also looked at lesson recording because we want the student who did not attend because of connectivity issues to also be able to listen and get an idea of what was taught on that day. And then I want to know, is faculty able to use technology? And I also still gave it excellent, good, and needs help. So as the faculty who will go into this person's class will be able to identify whether this person needs great help, whether this person needs some guidance as regards some activities here, and then we shall find a way of helping faculty. Until when we reach that level that I showed you in the other Venn diagram, about technology and the rest being all put together. And then if you give students to go and do forum discussions, it is really very important for you to assess the posts that they have made. Otherwise, some of them will never visit, will never assess, will never, but if you attach like a map and you say you are going to assess the forum posts for these students, it will encourage these students to go in and participate in the forum discussions. So I have a rubric for assessment of online forum discussions, and these ones the faculty will use for the students. And looking at the discussion postings and the responses to the other students or to faculty, how do these postings look like? Do they have evidence of critical thinking, or the student is just posting, okay, I understand, I'm just posting an information? Are there references? Or do the students present or post within the timelines that have been set? Or students present after like a week, which presentations may be not very useful for their colleagues during that time. Thank you very much for listening to me. I hope I was not very fast.